this door NOW or I'm calling backup and we're coming in.
You need a warrant or exigent circumstances. I'm reporting this. Badge number, please.
You think recording scares me?
The pounding echoed through the quiet suburban home. Sarah Chen, 34 years old, checked her phone. The Ring doorbell app showed a uniformed officer on her porch, flashlight scanning her windows. What is this regarding? It's almost midnight. Her voice came through the doorbell speaker, calm but firm. She didn't open the door. She stayed upstairs, watching the screen, her 7-year-old daughter Emma asleep down the hall. Ma'am, I don't have to explain myself. Open this door, or I'll assume you have something to hide. Officer, I'm a nurse who just got my daughter to sleep. What specific violation are you investigating? That vehicle in your driveway, where'd you get it? Registration doesn't match this address. I purchased it legally 3 weeks ago. Temporary plates are valid for 60 days. Is there an actual violation? The officer's voice hardened. You're asking a lot of questions for someone with nothing to hide. I'll determine if there's a violation. Now open this door or I'm calling for backup and we're coming in. Sarah's hands remained steady on her phone. You need a warrant or exigent circumstances to enter. I'm recording this interaction. Please provide your badge number. You think recording me scares me? The officer's laugh came through tinny and cold. I've been doing this 9 years. Go ahead and complain. They always side with us. I'll make sure every cop in this county knows your address and that car. See how comfortable you feel then. The timestamp on Sarah's screen read 11:54 p.m., badge number 4783, clearly visible on his uniform. 14 minutes and 23 seconds. That's how long Officer Derek Milhouse spent on Sarah Chen's porch that November night. By the time he left at 12:02 a.m., he thought he'd won. Another civilian intimidated. Another night where the badge meant untouchable. But what Officer Milhouse didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that Sarah Chen's doorbell camera captured far more than just the threat he made at her front door. The camera had a 160-degree field of view, wide enough to capture not only her porch, but her entire driveway. And when Officer Milhouse walked down those porch steps and circled her Honda Accord for 2 minutes and 7 seconds, the camera's night vision infrared technology recorded every movement in crystal clear, admissible quality video. What that footage would reveal would trigger the largest criminal prosecution of a police officer in the department's 127-year history. 14 felony counts, federal civil rights violations, evidence tampering, conspiracy, 3 wrongfully convicted individuals freed from prison, $5.5 million in settlements, and a 38-year federal prison sentence with no possibility of parole. 1 midnight encounter, 1 nurse who knew her rights, 1 camera angle an officer didn't account for. Sarah Chen wasn't just any trauma nurse. She had 11 years of experience at County Medical Center, 6 of them in the trauma ICU. She held CCRN certification, volunteered as an EMT training coordinator, and had spent years managing life or death situations while maintaining absolute composure under pressure. She understood constitutional rights not from internet research, but from professional training on patient consent and involuntary medical holds. She knew the Fourth Amendment. She knew what probable cause meant, and most critically, she was methodical about documentation. 6 months earlier, after package thefts in her neighborhood, she'd installed that Ring doorbell with its wide-angle lens and cloud backup. She'd enabled the neighbor sharing feature, which automatically sent alerts to Emily Rodriguez across the street, a 29-year-old public defender who would wake up at 11:53 p.m. when her phone buzzed with Sarah's camera alert. Emily would grab her own phone and record 8 minutes of backup footage from her bedroom window, capturing Officer Milhouse's face clearly when he turned toward the street, checking if anyone was watching. Before we break down those 2 minutes and 7 seconds frame by frame, drop your location in the comments. Hit subscribe because what you're about to see isn't just doorbell footage, it's evidence in a federal criminal trial. Officer Derek Milhouse was 38 years old, 9 years on the Metro Police. Department Patrol Division, night shift specialist. His colleagues called him thorough. Department code for aggressive. His supervisors praised him for not missing anything. Code for assumption-based stops. On paper, his record looked clean. Commendations for arrests. Efficiency ratings above average. The kind of officer who got results. But buried in the department's complaint system were 9 separate complaints filed over those 9 years. 3 for excessive force. 4 for unlawful search and entry. 2 for harassment and profiling. Every single one dismissed. Every single one closed as unfounded, unsubstantiated, or no policy violation found. All 9 reviewed and dismissed by the same supervisor, Sergeant Linda Voss, 52 years old, 14-year veteran of night shift supervision. Officer Milhouse had completed all the required training, 16 hours of Fourth Amendment instruction, 8 hours of de-escalation techniques, 12 hours of implicit bias awareness. He'd attended every session, signed every attendance sheet, passed every test, and learned absolutely nothing. His pattern was clear to anyone who cared to look. He targeted what the department called transitional neighborhoods, coded language for racially diverse areas. He conducted late-night welfare checks at private residences without clear justification. He used phrases like suspicious activity and doesn't belong here and fit the description to justify stops he couldn't otherwise explain. And when challenged on his authority, he doubled down every single time. That November night, Officer Milhouse was driving his patrol route when he spotted Sarah Chen's Honda Accord in her driveway. Newer model, temporary dealer plates. He ran the plate through the system, registered in a different county. Not illegal, not suspicious, just different. But to Officer Milhouse, different meant worthy of investigation. He assumed stolen vehicle. He assumed outstanding warrants. He assumed an easy stop that would end with compliance and maybe an arrest if he was lucky. He parked his patrol car, grabbed his flashlight, and approached the house with the confidence of a man who'd done this 89 times before in similar circumstances. Late-night welfare checks, 83% of them after 10 p.m., 91% at homes with non-white residents. He pounded on the door, not a knock, a command. The police knock pattern, 3 rapid strikes, 2-second pause, repeat. Designed to intimidate, designed to establish authority before a word was spoken. Sarah checked her Ring app. Uniformed officer, badge visible, but something felt wrong. The aggression, the late hour, the lack of explanation. She spoke through the two-way audio instead of opening the door. Smart, legal, exactly what someone who understood their rights would do. What is this regarding? It's almost midnight. Officer Milhouse heard the question as defiance. He moved closer to the front window, shining his flashlight through the glass. That vehicle, I need to see registration and your ID, now. That vehicle is legally purchased with valid temporary plates, Sarah responded, her voice steady. Do you have a warrant or probable cause? You're acting suspicious. That's all the probable cause I need. Actually, officer, that's not how the Fourth Amendment works. I'm recording this interaction. Please provide your badge number. The words hit Officer Milhouse like a slap. 9 years on the force, and he'd never had someone quote constitutional law at him through a doorbell speaker. He walked toward the living room window, attempting to see inside. Who else is in there with you? You hiding something? I'm alone with my sleeping child. I'm a trauma nurse at County Medical. I know my rights. He dismissed it immediately. People always claim to know their rights. They didn't. They'd back down. They always back down. I'll determine what rights you have. That car doesn't belong here. I've owned this house for 4 years. The car was purchased 3 weeks ago. What specific violation justifies this contact? Officer Milhouse couldn't articulate one. No stolen vehicle report, no outstanding warrant, no suspicious activity beyond his gut feeling that something wasn't right. So he did what he'd done 89 times before. He escalated. He walked around the porch perimeter, checking windows, testing the boundaries of the property. Sarah announced through the speaker, I'm recording this interaction through my doorbell camera. Please provide your badge number. You think recording me scares me? His voice rose, frustration bleeding through. I've been doing this 9 years. Complaints go nowhere. They always side with us. And I'll make sure every cop in this county knows your address and that car. See how comfortable you feel then. The threat hung in the cold November air, explicit, unmistakable, captured in perfect audio clarity at 11:54 p.m. Sarah's camera recorded his face as he said it. Badge number 4783 reflected in the porch light. Emily Rodriguez's phone, recording from across the street, captured the same moment from a different angle. Sarah remained composed. That sounds like a threat, officer. I'm noting the time. Badge number clearly visible on your uniform. Officer Milhouse realized he'd been identified. He attempted to regain control, his voice shifting to official procedure. I'm conducting a lawful investigation. You can cooperate now or explain yourself downtown. Then document it officially and leave my property. Or get a warrant. The stalemate stretched. Officer Milhouse stood on the porch for another 30 seconds, clearly weighing his options. Then he made his decision. He walked down the porch steps toward Sarah's driveway. Sarah watched through her phone screen as the officer circled her Honda Accord, shining his flashlight through the windows. He moved deliberately, checking the doors, examining the interior. He looked back toward the house, then toward the street, checking if anyone was watching. Emily Rodriguez, watching from her window, zoomed in with her phone camera. She captured his face clearly in the streetlight. He appeared deliberate, Purposeful. Officer Milhouse approached the driver's side door. For 2 minutes and 7 seconds, he stood at that vehicle. The angle of Sarah's doorbell camera made it difficult to see exactly what he was doing. His body blocked the direct view, but the night vision infrared captured movement. His hand reached toward the door handle. Something small appeared in his other hand, a shape, possibly a bag. Sarah couldn't see the details through the live feed. She watched, confused and increasingly alarmed, as the officer spent over 2 minutes at her car, doing something she couldn't quite make out. Then he returned to the porch. His demeanor had changed, more confident now, almost satisfied. Last chance. Open this door, or I'm documenting this vehicle as evidence in an ongoing investigation. I'm not opening my door. Leave my property now, or I'm calling your supervisor. Officer Milhouse lingered. He walked the property line one final time, his flashlight sweeping across the windows. Then, at 12:01 a.m., he returned to his patrol car and left. No report filed, no documentation of contact, nothing. The moment his taillights disappeared, Sarah downloaded the ring footage. She emailed copies to herself, to Emily, and to a backup cloud account. At 12:04 a.m., she called the non-emergency line and filed a formal complaint, providing the officer's badge number, the timestamp of his threat, and the fact that she had video evidence. The dispatcher's recording captured everything. By 7 a.m., Sarah had documented a complete timeline. By Monday morning, 72 hours after the incident, Emily Rodriguez shared the doorbell footage with her colleagues at the Legal Aid Society. With Sarah's permission, they posted it to social media. Within 48 hours, the video went viral. 2.4 million views. Comments flooded with similar stories. Local news picked up the story. Nurse's doorbell camera captures officer's midnight threat. The department issued a statement. Officer Milhouse placed on administrative leave pending investigation. But Deputy Chief Patricia Harmon, 56 years old, appointed 18 months earlier with a specific reform mandate, watched that footage and saw something that made her blood run cold. The timestamp at 11:56 p.m., the officer at the vehicle for over 2 minutes, the deliberate movements. She immediately escalated the case to internal affairs. Lieutenant Marcus Freeman, 41 years old, 6 years in the Internal Affairs Division, specifically requested the Chen case the moment he saw that video. Freeman was a former patrol officer who'd left street duty after witnessing misconduct cover-ups. He'd built his reputation on meticulous, data-driven investigations that followed evidence wherever it led, regardless of department politics. He assembled an investigation team, 2 detectives, 1 forensic video analyst, 1 data specialist. They collected everything. Sarah's ring footage, 14 minutes 23 seconds, 1080, PhD, infrared night vision. Emily's phone footage, 8 minutes of backup from a different angle, and something Officer Milhouse had forgotten. His patrol car's dash cam, still recording when he left Sarah's property. It showed him driving away at 12:01 a.m. No stop at the station, no report filed. He went straight to his next patrol area as if nothing had happened. Freeman's first observation, officer spent 2 minutes 7 seconds at a civilian's vehicle during an encounter he never officially documented. Department policy required written reports for any citizen contact exceeding 2 minutes. Zero documentation existed. His second observation, the infrared footage showed something in the officer's hand at 11:57 p.m. Freeman sent the footage to the department's forensic video analyst for frame-by-frame enhancement. The analyst's preliminary conclusion, object appears consistent with small plastic bag, possibly evidence bag or narcotics packaging. Freeman pulled Officer Milhouse's complete personnel file. 9 complaints over 9 years, all dismissed by Sergeant Linda Voss. But Freeman requested the original complaint files from the archives. The files Voss had claimed were lost or incomplete. The digital backup system recovered all 9. Year 1. Excessive force during traffic stop. Dismissed. Complainant deemed uncooperative. Year 2. Unlawful vehicle search where drugs were allegedly found. Dismissed. Probable cause determined to exist. Years 3 through 6. 6 more complaints involving unlawful searches, excessive force, profiling accusations. Every single one dismissed with nearly identical language. Insufficient evidence. Officer followed protocol. Complainant credibility questioned. But Freeman noticed a pattern within the pattern. In 6 of those 9 cases, Officer Milhouse had allegedly found evidence during searches that complainants claimed were unlawful. Drugs in center consoles, weapons under seats, contraband in plain view. 127 arrests over 9 years stemming from evidence Milhouse personally discovered during stops. Freeman's data specialist ran the numbers. 1,247 documented traffic stops over 9 years. 68% in neighborhoods, representing 31% of the district population. 89 late-night welfare checks at private residences. 83% after 10 p.m. 91% at homes with non-white residents. Has something like this ever happened to you or someone you know? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience helps build the case for continued reform. Freeman requested IT pull all emails between Officer Milhouse and Sergeant Voss. The system recovered 847 emails spanning 9 years. Most were routine, shift schedules, policy updates. But one email, dated 14 months before the Chen incident, stopped Freeman cold. From Sergeant Linda Voss to Officer Derek Milhouse. Subject: RE Complaint 2847. The body read, "Just document it as suspicious activity and move on. If you found anything during the stop, note it came from plain view. Complaints go nowhere if you use the right language. I've got your back. Stay safe out there." Proof of supervisory knowledge. Proof of active coaching to avoid accountability. Proof of a system designed to dismiss legitimate complaints. Freeman forwarded the email to the district attorney's office with a note: possible criminal conspiracy. The forensic video analyst completed his enhancement. Frame by frame, the infrared footage revealed Officer Milhouse's actions at Sarah's vehicle. At 11:57 p.m., clear image of a small plastic bag in his hand. At 11:57:18, his hand near the driver's door handle. At 11:57:32, hand withdraws, bag no longer visible. The analyst's conclusion: subject appears to place object near or inside vehicle. Freeman contacted Sarah Chen immediately. "Ms. Chen, after that night, did you check your vehicle? Did you find anything unusual?" Sarah paused. "I didn't even think to check. Should I look now?" "Please, and don't touch anything if you find something." Sarah went to her car. She checked the center console. Nothing. The glove compartment. Nothing. Then she checked the driver's door pocket. That small storage space on the door panel. Wedged deep inside was a small plastic bag. She pulled out her phone and photographed it in place before carefully removing it. Inside the bag, a white powder substance, approximately 0.3 grams. Field tested at the police lab. Positive for cocaine. Evidence planting confirmed. Freeman's 127-page investigation report landed on Deputy Chief Harmon's desk 3 weeks after the incident. Officer Derek Milhouse violated Sarah Chen's Fourth Amendment rights. Video evidence proves attempted evidence planting. Pattern of 9 dismissed complaints suggests systematic misconduct. Statistical analysis proves discriminatory stop patterns. Sergeant Voss's email proves supervisory enablement. Recommendation: criminal prosecution and department termination. The district attorney convened a grand jury. Criminal charges filed at the state level: evidence tampering, attempted false imprisonment, official misconduct, civil rights violation under state law, 4 felony counts. But the DA's office wasn't finished. They created a task force to review all 127 arrests where Officer Milhouse had personally found evidence. They focused on cases where defendants had claimed evidence was planted, claims that had been dismissed as desperate lies. 3 cases were flagged immediately. Marcus Williams, 28, traffic stop 4 years earlier, cocaine allegedly found in his center console, convicted, serving 6 years. Jennifer Santos, 31, welfare check 3 years prior, methamphetamine allegedly found in plain view, convicted, serving 4 years. David Kim, 25, vehicle stop 18 months ago, illegal firearm allegedly found under his seat, convicted, serving 8 years, all 3. Milhouse was the sole discovering officer. No partner present, all late-night stops, all had filed complaints claiming planted evidence, all complaints dismissed by Sergeant Voss. Defense attorneys filed emergency appeals based on newly discovered evidence. Within 8 weeks, all 3 convictions were vacated. Marcus Williams, Jennifer Santos, and David Kim walked out of prison as free individuals. The media coverage exploded. Doorbell camera freeze wrongfully convicted 3. The FBI Civil Rights Division opened a federal investigation. They reviewed every arrest, every complaint, every dismissed claim. Federal charges were filed 8 weeks after the original incident. 7 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law. 4 counts of evidence tampering in federal cases. 3 counts of conspiracy. 14 federal felony counts total. Sergeant Linda Voss was charged with official misconduct, conspiracy to violate civil rights, and obstruction of justice. Her attorney negotiated a plea deal. Testify against Milhouse. Avoid prison time. Voss took the stand at his trial and admitted. He told me he sometimes found evidence that ensured convictions. I didn't ask questions. I just made sure complaints went away. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Federal prosecutors presented the doorbell footage frame by frame. The forensic analyst testified about the bag in Milhouse's hand and the planting motion. Sarah Chen testified about the midnight encounter and her constitutional knowledge. Emily Rodriguez testified as corroborating witness. The 3 exonerated individuals testified about their wrongful convictions. Lieutenant Freeman testified about the pattern he uncovered. The defense argued mistakes but not criminal intent. The jury deliberated 4 hours, guilty on 12 of 14 counts. Federal sentencing guidelines calculated 25 to 40 years for the convictions. The judge's statement was unequivocal. You betrayed your oath, destroyed innocent lives, and undermined justice justice itself. This court must send a message that evidence tampering by law enforcement will not be tolerated. Sentence: 38 years in federal prison, no parole eligibility. Derek Milhouse, 39 at sentencing, will be 77 at release. His law enforcement certification was permanently revoked across all states. His marriage dissolved during the trial. His 2 children, now in their ex-wife's custody, moved out of state. He currently serves his sentence at Federal Correctional Institution Coleman in Florida, segregated from general population because former law enforcement officers are targets. He has had no visitors in 18 months. In prison interviews, he maintains his innocence and shows no remorse. The civil lawsuits resulted in settlements totaling $5.575 million. Sarah Chen received $875,000, which included mandatory reform requirements. The 3 exonerated individuals received settlements ranging from $1.2 million to $2.1 million each. Deputy Chief Patricia Harmon used the Chen case and federal pressure to implement sweeping reforms. An early intervention system now flags officers automatically after 3 incidents. An independent civilian review board with subpoena power reviews all complaints. The sustained rate jumped from 4% to 31%. Body cameras are mandatory 24/7 during citizen contact. Statistical monitoring tracks stops by officer, location, and demographics with quarterly public reports. Supervisor accountability is now doctrine. Enablement is a terminable offense. The department entered a 3-year federal consent decree that was extended to 5 years. Sarah Chen's doorbell footage became a case study titled "The Milhouse Evidence: How One Camera Angle Changed Everything." It's taught in 47 police academies across 6 states. Sarah speaks at 8 academies annually, donating her $15,000 appearance fees to the Innocence Project. She's now a shift supervisor at County Medical, still working in trauma. Her daughter Emma, now 9, is well adjusted after family therapy. They live in a new home purchased with the settlement. Marcus Williams is enrolled in law school, studying to become a criminal defense attorney. Jennifer Santos advocates for criminal justice reform at universities. David Kim works as a youth mentor, warning young people about profiling. Sergeant Linda Voss completed. If this story changed how you think about your rights, hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Drop a comment. What's the most important lesson from Sarah Chen's case? Her courage at midnight freed 3 innocent people and reformed an entire department. Imagine what happens when we all know our rights, document everything, and refuse to be intimidated. Thanks for watching until the end.